Greetings all, this is Hairy Nick.
This is always Hairy Justin.
Breaking news, X-Wing has just become exclusive on the Epic Game Store. No, wait a minute, they've added Epic back into X-Wing.
And it's about time, actually.
Absolutely. I don't warn Justin before I say things like that. So, Epic was the variation in First Edition, for those of you who weren't around, where you got to use really big ships and lots of big, fancy weapons that go bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, and apparently when you were playing Epic, it was actually better to play as like half a dozen Y-Wings, and you'd win better doing that than actually using an Epic ship.
Indeed.
But I still wanted to use them.
Absolutely. Indeed, you had to use a certain amount of Epic points. Now, I'm just going to say this right now. Me and Justin never actually got a chance to play Epic at an LGS.
No. I bought both of the Imperial Epic ships.
Yeah, I got a C-ROC.
Yeah, and I was just like, I really want to play this. I sat down with my brother one day and I said, we're just going to sit down, we're going to play a game. And we started building lists, and then we went, oh, this is taking too long.
It's rough. One of the biggest issues, and I want to bring this up at the very start of this video, is it didn't really get that much organised player support in First Edition, and I think something FFG have to do in Second Edition, and I'm not convinced based on these articles they are going to, is proper organised player support for Epic.
Yeah, it's looking a bit scary right now.
Well, they keep using the word casual throughout these articles, like you can use these in casual lists and something like... No, FFG, we want tournament support for Epic. Like, even if it's just like one or two tournament packs within every seasonal kit for each LGS. So every few months there's an Epic.
That'd be so good.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Yeah. It'd be really good. But in terms of all of that, the implementation looks great. There's support for every single faction, which I quite like. What we're going to do in this video, we're actually going to have the article here in front of us. I know previously we've basically just ripped out all the pieces of information and put them on the screen, but I wanted to actually have this in front of us because... apart from anything else, we are sort of getting little snippets of information based on the terminology FFG have been using, so it's good to have it in front of us on the screen. And again, you know, if we miss anything, hey, it's right there in front of us, so you guys can read it with us. So if we take a look, here is the first article, Bigger Battles, which talks about our conversion kit for every single Epic ship from First Edition moving into Second Edition. You just buy one of them. Which is a little bit rough on those of us who only own one, like myself. But the cool thing is, you have the Empire ships, I have the Scum ships, we can just split the cost.
I was having a quick look at the huge ship list as to what it all has.
Yeah.
It looks like it actually has one of everything for each ship.
Yes, which is very important.
So we actually probably could do that.
Yep, let's do it. And in terms of that business model, look, I think ultimately... FFG being the manufacturers they are and LGSs needing to stock this stuff, it makes the most sense just to give us one kit that does everything.
Yeah.
It's not an outrageous price at $30 US as well. I think that's fine. And again, people like us will just split the cost anyway. Yeah. Basically, there's a new movement tool that's going to be coming out in First Edition because you can't just stick a maneuver template in the front of an Epic ship. It just physically moves way too far every time you do that. Yeah. It's like a notch thing that you put on the side and you move it very, very slowly. So it doesn't move 10 times faster than everything else on the board. Indeed, that wouldn't make any sense in the context of an Epic ship. Also, we're going to have a re-release of the C-ROC and the Tantive 4.
Yeah, no, we were also going to be getting one of the Empire ships coming out a little bit later on that quarter as well.
Yep.
So
they'll all come out eventually.
Yeah, we will be having all the Epic ships coming out soon, which is nice.
Based on what FFG have been doing with the standard ships, I wouldn't be surprised if the releases went, okay, here's an old ship plus a new ship. Here's an old ship plus a new ship every few months.
That would be nice.
That would be very nice. Actually, in terms of that, we don't have any ships for the new factions, but the existing ships do work in the new factions. In fact, here's the paragraph that explains that. The CR-90 with the Tantive 4 can be on the Rebel Alliance or Galactic Republic. The medium transport, that's the Rebel transport, can be on the Alliance or Resistance. The Raider and the Gazonti are both on Empire and First Order, and the C-ROC can be flown on the Scum and Villainy faction as well as the CIS.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea. It makes sense. Each ship feels thematic for each squad. I'm a little bit disappointed though that the Raider won't... I'm hoping the Raider will eventually be able to be used for the Resistance as well. Because
you mean the CR90?
No, the Raider was in Battlefront 2.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, right, yes. Yeah, okay. Things like that, I think it's important to take a step back and go, do you really want an Imperial Raider on the Resistance? I know.
Thematically, yes, I do.
It's like, do we have a TIE SF on the Resistance? I don't think so. I think for the sake of the X-Wing dogfighting game, I mean, that's just my opinion. You might not agree. Also, we were talking before, the CR90 could be on the Resistance as well.
Yeah.
I think the reason this is done is simply for game balance. They don't want any ship to be on 3 different factions so they can help maintain faction identity. It's a little bit rough that they only get the Rebel transport.
Well, I think it might be a bit fairer for the Resistance because their ships work so efficiently.
That's true.
Then also giving them the Tantive 4 may just sort of break the game for them a bit
with
too
all its
much.
big weapons. Yeah, I suppose it makes sense. Plus, they might get a similar thing down the track anyway.
There were enough ships that blew up in Episode 8 that you could use one of them.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, those transport pods that came out of the large cruiser weren't the same as the Rebel transport, but I guess they're similar. I mean, it's all subjective. I mean, technically, yeah, the Raider and the Gazanti were never seen on the First Order, but you can pretty much assume that most Imperial tech just migrated over to the First Order and just got upgraded over time, so it'd make sense. It'll be curious to see whether they give factions like the First Order things like the Raider or Gazanti in the future, or whether they just go in a completely different direction, whether they don't, make a light frigate like the Raider, they make something else entirely. I mean, yeah.
I'm thinking maybe some sort of huge transport which gives you lots of crew members to put on. And
like a huge shuttle, that kind of thing. I mean, there's a lot of different directions they could take it. Also, the most interesting out of all of these, I think, is the Gazanti on the First Order, because the Gazanti carries a squadron. Yeah. So now we're going to see Gazantis carrying TIE SFs, TIE FOs, maybe TIE silencers. If it comes out before, maybe FO bombers.
I don't think those would fit. The silencers are just a bit too long.
Oh, I'd have to point outwards. Maybe. Yeah, probably not. But yeah, depending on what gets revealed, possibly FO bombers, if they're going to do that thing.
Yeah, that'd be
Remember
cool.
we got those
images.
Yeah, before episode 8 came out, and that never amounted to anything, so I don't even know if they're real, to be honest.
No, they were drawn and put into one of the art books.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So okay. Let's put every Empire ship on the First Order for no reason. Actually, while we're looking at this part of the screen, let's have a look at this little spread here. Start right in the centre. We've got some new dials.
Yeah, so these dials are interesting. You've got 0 maneuver turns.
Banks, turns, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Also, the fact that they're going well past 3 into 4 and 5.
Yes. Also, there's no energy count alongside them. In First Edition, you had to spend a certain amount of energy to do a certain manoeuvre.
Was it spend it or you gain the energy?
I think it was both, depending on the difficulty of the manoeuvre. Now it's just red and blue, like standard ships.
Yeah.
So that either means that we're looking at stress on huge ships, or red and blue is simply related to energy. Maybe they lose or gain one based on the colour.
Maybe you lose energy and gain energy compared to the manoeuvres. Or
yeah, it could be that. It could mean that you can do multiple red manoeuvres in a row. But, I mean, maybe it's something to do with, like, hey, if you did a red manoeuvre last turn, well, you're going to lose even more energy or something like that.
Could be.
Don't really have an explanation for that just yet, but we know that they are fundamentally changing it, and it looks a bit more streamlined than it used to be, which is cool to see. We've got a couple of pilot cards here, and they actually are pilot cards now, not just ship cards like they were in First Edition.
Which is really cool. You've also got, it's very high initiative. 7 and 8.
Yes. I mean, we're assuming this is still initiative. There's also a second value underneath, if you can see where my mouse is pointing just now.
It's a weird red sort of diamond-looking thing.
In fact, I think it might be something that we're going to see in a tick, something to do with upgrade cards. Also, on top of the actions, there's a ×2. I know in first edition multiple actions were the thing, and they could shoot with multiple weaponry. So maybe there's going to be some indication of how that works now. Maybe it's not just do everything. Baked in abilities, which is always great to see. On the CR90, we have broadside batterers. You can acquire locks and perform primary attacks against at range 1 to 4. Cool.
Seems good.
Cool. They have basic primary attacks on more ships than they used to. We can see here the C-ROC actually has a primary attack. It didn't used to. Also, quick build cards. And you can see here there is a Raider First Order quick build card and a Scum C-ROC Cruiser quick build card.
And that's up to 8. So they were saying there...
Well, they're saying Epic Games are going to be 20 threat level or something like that.
So that could be good.
I mean, they are stressing that it's casual, so, I mean, you can make it whatever you want. Yes, little threat level thing is done by this, which makes sense because when you make all those bars in a row, it's harder to count them.
Yeah,
it's sort of
become messy at the end, isn't it?
I mean, honestly, I think the ones they have now, sometimes you have to double take as you try to read the card as well. We got Ordnance Tubes back. It looks like it's pretty much the same as the first edition one, which basically turns any piece of ordnance into a cannon. This is one of the key reasons why I'm glad that they are not putting this in the standard game. In the article, it says you can use them in your casual games of X-Wing or in like the multiplayer kit games or whatever. No, huge ships are not going to be legal in the standard game, and Ordnance Tubes is one of those reasons why.
Yeah, it'd be terrifying.
It would be. Basically, FFG seem to make allowances with huge ships to do pretty big busted things. But there's also like caps on how many huge ship things you can... The balancing is completely different, so it makes perfect sense. Remus Antilles. After you are destroyed, each friendly ship at range 0 to 1 gains a focus token. Something are destroyed, you are until the end of phase. Yeah, but...
Something probably to do with focus.
Indeed. I mean, Remus Antilles, famously being one of the rebels with the least amount of screen time in all of Star Wars.
Yeah. Actually, not related to Wedge Antilles, you just told me.
No. Yeah. Well, according to the guys over at Hell of a Pilot, anyway, apparently Antilles is just a very common name in the Star Wars universe.
You've got this weird symbol above the crew symbol.
This diamond right here.
Yeah.
This could be something related to this, although I don't think it is. There's actually other diamond symbols we're looking at as well, which is slightly different to this one. I suspect this is something to do with epic points. I think it's just a certain cap you have across your entire list, because this also goes onto some small ships, which we'll talk about in the next article as well. So...
But yeah, if we can use these as epic points, I think that's a really clever idea.
Yeah, putting it on actual upgrade cards as well as epic ships, I think is really, really cool.
And then that way as well, it means that this card can't be used in normal everyday play as well.
Yes, unless you have casual rules that allows for that kind of stuff. That's another reason why I don't think this symbol is the same, because it's a cost, and I don't think they would print that onto these ships.
Yeah.
Although they might, I don't know. We're guessing at this point. I also just want to say this looks awesome too. This is a tracker for shields and energy. So it's just a 2-digit counter you have little dials for. That's fantastic.
I love it.
Yep.
Really clever.
Absolutely. Not much more to say about that. It just looks awesome. We have a spread down here for the 2 expansions we're going to get. We're not going to try and squint at this. It's just too dang small.
Yep.
We got what's his face, Man Your Ships from episode 4. There's a bunch of hardpoint stuff. Some of these were in first edition, some of them weren't. Look, we're going to get more articles on these real soon, so don't stress.
And as soon as we do, we will let you guys know.
Absolutely. Also, we are getting turrets on these ships as well. The CR90 in first edition actually had 360 weapons that could fire in all directions, which was frustrating, as all turreted weapons in first edition were. So, great. It's probably going to relate to the hard points as well. More information on that as it develops. Also, yes, we have calculate and evade tokens. Indeed, the text on Remus Antilles and the pilot cards we can see so far does seem to indicate there was focus tokens. You can see, for example...
Just noticing they've got a red action here.
Yes, well spotted.
I have no idea what it is. I can't...
Indeed.
that out, but yeah.
You can actually see there is no stress tokens. There is a whole heap of ion tokens. Again, we're just guessing here, so...
Yeah.
But that could relate to energy, that could relate to the amount of actions you can take.
Now, these cards up the top here...
That's a damage deck.
That's the damage deck?
That's damage deck, yeah, for sure.
Cool.
It's exactly the same thing we got in first edition. It's just going to be updated, so... No surprises there. Again, we can't read that, so let's not talk about that. Let's take a look at the C-ROC. Same stuff. This was the same obstacles we got in first edition as well.
Now, also, guys, if you end up getting the maneuver templates for the X-Wing game, they give you a range 5 ruler.
Yes, they do. The new plastic ones. Yes, so we've already got this. But we're getting it again, because why not? Also, a couple of bombs. I don't know if this had bombs in first edition. Yeah. Also, we seem to be getting more titles as well. Only 3 titles for the CR90 in first edition. There's 4 here. And those are actually named here in the box, which is kind of handy. So if you go to the actual product page, you can see what they are. So if we go down the titles...
We got Donna's Pride,
James Light, Liberator,
Tentative 4, and Thunderstrike.
Thunderstrike.
Oh, you got to use Thunderstrike. Yeah. As an Australian...
I suppose so. They might be Republic things only. Tantive would be Republic and Rebellion. I mean, we don't know. Again, this is, hey, this is something that might happen. This is cool.
Also, I find this quite interesting. The C-ROC's got some illicit slots here.
Yes. Don't think it did in first edition. In first edition, we got Jabba the Hutt with this. Also, sick fighter stuff and... fixes for that. Now, it does not look like we're doing that in second edition.
Yeah, I really do hope that we don't have cards that end up becoming...
I think FFG's business model is moving away from that kind of stuff, which is great to see. That's a very positive thing. There's a configuration here.
I didn't notice that.
But this looks like it's for the C-ROC Cruiser. It doesn't look like it's a Vaxi or anything like that. Look, we're probably going to get that stuff in the card packs. I get the impression... that the pilot upgrade packs that they're going to bring out in a couple of waves is a way of them going, okay, well, we've lost this outlet for our fixes. We need to make a new one. That's why they're doing that. They'll charge us more for it, but it means you don't have to buy an epic ship to get new pilots.
I really do hope so.
Yeah.
I really do.
I'm pretty confident. I think we're going to be okay. In fact, you can see a list of all the upgrades if you go to the products. For example, this is the huge ship conversion pack. Look, you can see here, these are all just pilot cards for the ships themselves.
You get one for each ship and for each faction.
Yep.
So the Separatist Privateer is for the C-ROC, and then Syndicate Smugglers is for the C-ROC as well.
That's right. So obviously, yes, there's no new pilots for your small ships. Again, it looks like FFG is moving away from that business model, which is fantastic. Don't really like that. I mean, I understand why they did it in first edition, but it just, where things are going, that it just feel a bit gross at this point.
Yeah. How good does that picture look, though?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Nice. Good photography work there from FFG.
Yeah.
Let's jump over to our second article, because we got some real cool stuff here. Where are we? There we go. Epic Battles.
Oh, look at that box.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So this is a multiplayer expansion pack, something completely new for X-Wing.
It says here for 2 to 8 players. 8 players playing a game. Oh, it gets me excited.
Again, FFG, please organise player support for this kind of stuff. Just having the standard game for OP is okay. I understand that's the most competitive thing. But this is really, really cool.
Giving us choices, always better.
Always good to have choices. So this kind of stuff was present in first edition. It was kind of like extra content you'd get in some big ship packs and huge ship packs. Little mission objective stuff, which I don't know about you guys, but I never played it.
No.
I was never really interested in doing that kind of stuff. I want to fly with my new cool ships.
Yep.
So having like set scenarios, I guess putting it in a separate box, it's a more deliberate thing when you go to buy the multiplayer pack. So you're probably going to want to play with the things you actually paid money for. Plus, it probably means that FFG are going to put a lot more thought into it. So I think this is a good thing all around. Plus, it adds something very cool into the game. We'll just talk about that next, which is this tool here for wing commanding.
Yeah, so with this, you're then able to easily fly 6 ships in formation.
Up to 6 ships, yeah. And it seems like this is just something for Epic. slash casual. The article doesn't explicitly say, but it doesn't look like this is going to be something for the standard game.
Yeah, I understand why, but
I'm in two minds about whether that would be a good thing or not myself.
Yeah.
It'd be great because it helps streamline certain lists. I also feel like flying in formation is a skill you should learn if you're flying like vultures or TIE fighters, and that would take away from that a bit. Plus, the power level does seem to be more in keeping with Epic, because if we take a look at this spread up here, we actually get some explanations as to the kind of things you can do when you have formations. It's not just fly your stuff in formation. There actually is rules that back it up. In fact, if we have a look at these three cards here, here, and here, they all pretty much seem to do the same thing. You have a leader, which sits in the middle, and if you're going to take damage, if your friendly ships are also in the firing arc, you can put the damage over to them instead, which is terrifying with Vader.
Yeah, he's going to last a while, isn't he?
Indeed. In fact, this card here, Agent of the Empire, which we did get a separate picture of, which I'll put up on the screen for you all to see, you fly any one of the TIE Advanced pilots alongside TIE Fighters, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
As opposed to the First Order one, which it looks like your wingmates must be two FOs or SFs. It looks like this goes in an FO or an SF. So that means you can mix and match. So, like, you could have Midnight alongside SFs or Quick Draw alongside some FOs if you really wanted to. As opposed to Veteran Wing Leader, which is you must just get a whole heap of the same ship. So it looks like different factions are going to be balancing out the combinations you can do specifically.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good thing. I think if FG are trying to avoid certain broken combos, which could be kind of scary. There's no information on like a TIE Silencer formation yet, but we have to assume it's going to happen.
Yeah, TIE Silencer and two FOs.
Or two SFs again. In episode 8, I think it was SFs that flanked Kylo.
So just quickly, we're looking here, we've got a 4 wingly, a 4...
It's a ship marker that you can put ships in certain quadrants.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, as opposed to the 6 one down below that we just had a look at, this might be for the First Order ones?
Yes, I see what you mean. There might be a way to field 4 of them instead. Yeah. Or just 2 of them. That's a very interesting point.
Actually, because, that one says wingmates must be 2, 3,
4, or 5. That's a good point.
So...
Yeah, just there.
Yeah.
Same with the TIE Fighters here on Agent of the Empire. Yes, it could be for different amounts. It looks like, based on the card here, which you have to track the formations, that it is just using that 6 grid tool every single time. These also could just be markers.
Yeah.
And the reason that we need more discrete markers is because we have to fit them around other ships and asteroids and that kind of stuff. So you can measure your ship in proximity to your other ships when you can't just use markers. Also, it means when you pick up a ship to mark it, it's going to stick within formation every single time perfectly.
Yeah. Which is good.
But you might be right. It might be something to do with different styles of formations. That's a very good point. I didn't think of that. Also, we have new markers here that are coloured as well, which I think is awesome.
Yeah. Well, considering that we're going to be having up to 8 players, we're going to need different colours.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. That's a very good point. Different shapes and stuff. I originally thought these were for squadrons, but considering the numbers go so high, it's just more redundant markers, which we're going to need.
There's also just here, we've got the turret, and that's got what we think could be that weird symbol on the
Yes,
Epic.
this diamond shape here is not the same as this diamond shape here. By the way, again, we were talking about this potentially being Epic points. I think this representing squadrons, again, completely fits within that theory. That's just one of the reasons why I brought that up. This looks like it's remotes or something. Like a turret is physically something you have. That's weird, though. It's really like you can shoot off turrets. That'd be so cool. Also, there's a satellite thing here, which was something that was used in first edition, so probably reusing that token.
And if we go down, we can actually see that they're being used in a game.
Yes, that kind of stuff
Yeah.
there. Well, they might be...
Yeah. Collecting data from satellites.
Yeah, exactly. It could be that. It's interesting to see how they actually mark out these corners. This is a 3x6 playing field, so they'll have to use some kind of tool. I guess you can use like the range 1 to 5 stuff. Oh, that's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so good. Yes, so as you move your wings, which is the sort of the code name for your squadrons, you just use the one marker. You move your leader, and then you use the tool to place every other ship. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's going to streamline things so well,
quickly,
which is so important in Epic. It's so, it takes a while.
Yeah.
And look, for those reasons, I don't think this is going to be in the standard game again. I just want to reiterate that. Yeah. I think there is clear design in terms of this power level and the way it needs to be streamlined, which indicates that, this is something that was a necessary thing to put in Epic, not the standard game.
Yeah.
For that reason. Apart from that, don't really have much information in terms of what kind of games we have with this multiplayer pack. They've kept that pretty close to their chest. But at the same time, they've mentioned, hey, we're going to have future articles which talk about these new mission objectives. They're going to put them in live streams and do all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
so hopefully it won't be too long before we find out some super cool information.
Indeed. We just had a stream. No, we didn't. That was a while back. Yeah. FFG, new stream schedule. We want to see when it's going to be streamed. Screamed? Well done. Yeah. Well done, Nick. Anyway, this stuff is going to be shipping during the fourth quarter. As Justin said, they're going to look to get some more Epic ships in during that quarter as well. Hopefully in time for the holiday period so we can have some casual games on the kitchen table.
Some Christmas X-Wing.
Some Christmas X-Wing.
While watching the new movie.
It's
going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh man, FFG got their work cut out for them. Like, getting that content, whether that movie is going to bring any more epic ships. In fact, in a space of 2 months, we're going to have The Mandalorian, Jedi Fallen Order, and Episode 9 all come out.
Just as a terrible joke here, Skywalker's the limits.
That's it. You heard it here first. Justin is really bad at making jokes.
I do the bad dad puns.
Indeed you do. Well, you're a dad, you're allowed to.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the information we have so far at Epic. It all looks awesome. I'm excited to talk more about this.
So excited. I'm
so excited just to play Epic.
Yeah.
It's about time.
It's taken a couple of years, but we're going to get there.
We're going to get there. Anyway, as always, stay tuned. We'll have more information on this as it comes out. In the meantime, do not forget to like and subscribe. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Reddit. And above all else, please consider supporting the Patreon. It's a pretty big deal. It's really helping support the channel right now. And it's given us a great Discord community where we chat about these things as we come to make these videos.
As soon as all this stuff came out, we were basically on there just talking to everyone going, what do people think? And
yep.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning. I see all these Discord notifications. I'm like, that's an article that just came out. I better check this out. And yes, with all that in mind, thank you so much, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Bye.